Well, here we are. Just a quickie. I'm just checking this. Good morning. Peter Crowman here, otherwise known as Peter Flowers. Well, just a few quick topics. Firstly, in Gravesend, there's a store called B&M. While they've got a lot of nice things in there at a cheap price that are useful, I would like to flag the fact that the children's toys are very, very expensive for what they are, and the level of quality isn't very good. I would like to warn people that they do these dinosaur eggs. Basically on the back it says wait 20 days, put it in water, all this. But rather than wait, I broke the egg open and put the dinosaur in the water. And it did start to grow, but it doesn't really look anything like a dinosaur at all. And for £8 it's a complete and utter waste of money. So I advise people to not buy these dinosaurs. And that's all I can really say about that. Doctors. Right, okay. Lots of people have many ailments through the years, and I think it's a matter of habit and not getting updates, really, that it seems to be the case that some doctors, not all doctors, turn around to the patient and say, oh, there's nothing that can be done about this problem. All you can do is take pain relief and use some form of management. Well, a lot of the time that isn't the case at all. I happen to know that the surgeons in the UK are 20 years ahead of America for starters, and that's a fact. They can basically do anything. Trust me on that, and if you want to be really sure regarding a problem you might have, I recommend you YouTube it. Not just Google it, YouTube it. And you'll more than likely find a video there on any particular problem you've got, showing that there is procedures for something to be done about this particular problem. So don't spend long periods of time, years or whatever, in pain. If there's something available out there, challenge whoever to see if you can get something done about whatever it might be. Schools. Well, the kids are going back to school, and yeah, we're all concerned about that. We see things in the media saying it's low risk and all that. Well, I don't think it really is low risk at all. There was a virus in 2009 that went around the schools, a flu virus, and the kids had school holidays, summer holidays in fact, and when they went back to school the virus started again. So I think we have to be very careful about this. People do have to live a normal life and have friends and family visiting one thing and another, and the children have to go to school mixed with the other kids. And I think the best thing we can do there to help out is to check our children's temperature a couple of times a week, and obviously keep an eye on them for any symptoms. I mean, it's freedom of choice. That's what we will be doing. And take precautions should our child show signs of the virus, and then we will take precautions to protect ourselves in the home, and communicate with the schools, of course. So that's your freedom of choice on what you decide to do there, but it's worth thinking about. Well, as I say, this is only a quick visit live. I've got a lot of things to talk about in the future, I can assure you that. Like, you know, and I've been making a lot of videos for a long time over the years to help others, especially victims of social services, which is a regular thing. There are mothers in court frightened every week because of social services. We went through hell with social services. All they did was tell a load of lies and made my wife suffer. In a waiting room, with tears pouring from her eyes, because she was told there's a strong possibility her first and only child was going to be taken from her. And I haven't forgot it. So what I've done, like, you know, over the years is I've made a lot of videos for YouTube, and there's a considerable amount of videos on Peter Crowman to help other people, like, you know. And it really is worth taking a look at all the videos that are on Peter Crowman's site, this Facebook site. There's some stuff on Big Brother there as well to bring you up to speed on what's really going on. Like, you know, you really are up against it out there. Because generally speaking, people working in professions, it doesn't mean they're total professionals at all, though they like to think so. Like, you know, but people in other organisations like local government and such like will believe social workers before they believe you, because they're working in a profession and you're not working in the same type of profession as they are. So places like local councils and stuff like that end up believing every word social services said, even though it's common knowledge there are a lot of victims of social services. Like, you know, and what we need is change. Like, you know, because these organisations, social services, have got serious control over the schools, and the school staff, the councils, everything. They really have. It seems they can get away with lying about people, you know. And there are some very underhanded, malicious things going on and all. Like people spreading malicious rumours about people. I mean, if you take a look at this site and have a look at all the videos, you can see the hard work that I've put in, and there's not one word of me asking for any help from anybody over the years. Like, you know, we've done an extremely good job bringing up our child, and our child in her own right is doing very well. Like, you know, she's learning a lot. She's fantastic. And an education, and she's the air I breathe and the air my wife breathes, and we love her. So protect yourself and don't let anything happen to your family. Don't become victims. Like, you know, if I could give you any advice, it would be this, and the advice is in the videos anyway. If anybody makes an accusation against you, you just write a letter and say, I'm sorry, this is totally untrue. And do not go to any meetings with social services at all. The reason being for this is if you go to a meeting and they have someone from the council there and 2 other social workers and somebody else from mental health or whatever it might be, they'll have a vote, and all these people who are all on the same team, on the same side, who have been briefed before you turn up at a meeting, will all vote against you. And then that gives them some kind of control. They have no right to come in your house at all. They may tell you they have, but they have not. They've got no rights at all to do any of this, like, you know. They'd have to go through a judge in a court for that kind of thing. So be on your guard, you know. And it's best not to listen to hearsay at all about things, like, you know, and it's not a good idea, malicious gossip, because you can damage other people's lives. And what right have anybody got to do that? They haven't, have they? Like, you know. And I often have to go around. I mean, I've had a considerable amount of training myself. Like, you know, from the age of 26 I was a marathon runner and involved in many other types of sporting activities. I was a sports car builder, and there are many other areas that I worked in my life. Like, you know, and I have to walk around the bloody town analysing people because I've got some qualifications in counselling and psychology and a lot of life experience. So if someone's sitting there or standing there in front of me taking the piss, I'll sort of know, you know what I mean? Just like you would, whether you'd had training or not. And I've had to put up with it. I'm bloody sick of it, and one day I'm going to do something about it. Like, you know, all I've tried to do is a lot of good for other people. Like, you know, and I'll be quite honest with you, the way some people have treated me, it's a bloody disgrace. Like, you know, it really is. Like, you know. So anyway, like, you know, I say take it or leave it, like, it's up to you. I'm not sitting on my arse. I have been working for the last 4 years on an entertainment project, and I'm hoping to make a go of it one day when I can find the right person to help me out with a bit of equipment, like, you know, to move forwards. Like, you know, there's a considerable amount of things out there, opportunities. Like, you know, if you can find the right backing, you just got anything you want to do, you just got to want to do it. Like, you know, and I know I'm not the greatest singer in the world, but I don't do too bad, and it'd be a lot better if I had a bloody mic, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, so, you know, maybe some of you have heard some of my stuff. There's some pretty good stuff there, not bad, you know. There is one on this site, like, you know, but I've got better ones than that floating around. So anyway, like, you know, with this virus and that, don't drop your guard. I really wouldn't, like, you know. I mean, Gravesend has been very good so far, and some woman in Wilkinson has tried to manipulate me by saying most people haven't got any common sense. And I turned around and said, well, actually, there were witnesses. I said, actually, like, the people of Gravesend have been very good. Incredible, in fact. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, everybody's got a bloody mask. Yeah, it's amazing. Like, you know, just incredible. Like, you know, the masks were building up. Sorry, more and more people were building masks, you know, making them and wearing them and all this and that. And I was doing my bit. I've put videos up from people working in medical professions, and they some of those videos got 700 hits of information on COVID-19, like, you know. So I did as much as I could on Facebook and on YouTube to help people out with information regarding the virus. Like, you know, I think we can safely say the virus is going to be around for some considerable time. But if people continue to stay focused and don't drop the guard, wear the mask when they can, wash their hands and all the other things, like, you know, we stand a good chance of beating this thing one day when we actually get a vaccine, because that's what it's going to take. We're going to need a vaccine. Because it's not a seasonal virus, is it? Like the flu. Like, you know, and the flu's a long shot anyway. I mean, there's about 120 different types of flu. going around, and when they make a vaccine for that, they choose 3 or 4 of the most common types of virus that are around. But there's no guarantees with any of it at all that it's going to help. There's lots of other things we could do and all, like, you know, like transport, for instance. Anybody's on buses and trains, for God's sake, open the bleeding windows, will you? Get some fresh air in there. Don't worry about someone screaming they're cold. It's better to have fresh air and reduce the risks, like, you know, ventilation. Like, you know, so anyway, as I say, it's only supposed to be a short video. So keep your guard up. If you want to see videos on YouTube, just research Gravesend Town is the search, YouTube. And there's loads of everybody's videos are all on Gravesend Town. Loads of stuff. There's all sorts of interesting stuff about Gravesend as well, going back to the war times and hidden air raid shelters in the countryside, and an airdrome that Gravesend used to have, and all sorts of things like this. Like, you know, there's lots of historic stuff there worth taking a look at, because it's the real thing done by real people, if you know what I mean. It's not some documentary that seems to be a bit synthetic. Like, you know, so anyway, yeah, so it's entirely up to you. I think it would be a good step forwards if people did take a look at the videos that I've made on Peter Crowman, and also on YouTube. As I say, it's Gravesend Town, Gravesend Kent, and you'll find everybody else's videos there and all. Like, you know, so often we hear people say they haven't got the time to do these things, like, you know, but it is, the bottom line is this: it's your life, your family's life, and your friend's life. So make a difference and spend a little bit of time, an hour, having a look around and see what information you can pick up. You might find something useful. All the best then. Time to put the glasses on so I can switch the damn thing off. There we go.